And welcome back to part 3 of What If Goku Hit His Head, or excuse me, never hit his head on the Dragon Ball Z What If. Last time, Raditz had come to Earth and to finally meet up with his baby brother Goku, Kakarot. Should actually know, I'm going to stop right there. I never actually addressed whether or not he kept his name or not. I've just been calling him Goku. But the fact of the matter is, because he didn't hit his head and lose any memories, there's really no reason he can't go by Kakarot. I think really what it is that because Goku was still so young that he couldn't form words, he maybe knew his name, but because Gohan just called him Goku for a long time, and he was so young, he just adopted that name. But he will honestly go by both if he wants to. Hey, in Super Broly, he even said, "My name's Kakarot" at the end of the movie. So, anyway. Raditz come to Earth, but Goku basically started talking to him and even brought up his mom and dad, their mother and father, and how, what would they think of you now working for that son of a bitch who killed everyone and all that? So basically, Raditz just looks at it and says, you want to prove to me, you want to look at me, your older brother, straight in the eye and prove to me that that what you're doing is the right call and what I'm doing is the wrong call? Beat me in a fight. And so they basically agree. They fly off. Goku obviously kind of uses Nimbus here, but they fly off, go to a secluded area. Piccolo follows the suit to watch this. So does his gang, and they're kind of now just squaring off. And Goku's just staring him down, and like, I'm gonna prove to you that we could do this. And Raditz is just looking at it like he's still got that cocky attitude that Raditz has, but at the same time, it's a little shaken, if you will, not stirred, by Goku's resolve and bringing up their parents more than anything else. Raditz probably actually has legitimate memories of Bardock and Gine. So the fact that he brought them up kind of is a little like, you brought them up. It's like, don't you bring up mom and dad. It's like, and Raditz, while he's still cocky, is also, he needs to know if Goku can really do this. If Goku can back up his words. It's like, take your best shot, Kakarot. And Goku squares off, and he just launches at Raditz, who does grab the punch, but Goku quickly comes in and delivers a kick straight to his chest. Dah! And Goku delivers actually a couple fair quality shots in. Now again, power level wise, Goku I said is around 650. That's a little over half Raditz's suppressed power. But at Raditz's full power, he still pretty much dwarfs Goku. He's more than 2 times stronger than him. But that's not to say that Goku is helpless. Goku, I think, is still the superior fighter, having been legitimately trained in martial arts for decades at this point now. So I do think Goku is the superior fighter, but he does lack the overall power and speed and all that. So while Goku does initially actually overwhelm Raditz a little bit, Raditz is quick to just overpower Goku. Goku, though, having trained under Popo and doesn't really have Ultra Instinct, does have keen instinct of, reacting. So he is able to dodge some hits, like when Raditz appears behind him, Goku instinctively just go. How did, Colonel Silver? That was the redheaded captain from the Red Ribbon Army. He kicks like a donkey. That's kind of, he kicks like I'm going to name a random planet. Dronian mule. I'm just throwing a random animal out there. But again, he quickly just starts overwhelming Goku. Everyone's just, waiting on the silence. Piccolo is just like, well, what's gonna happen here? Because even if Goku wins, he's still got to contend with everyone else there. Even though he is stronger in this version, by a decent margin, he's around 500, I said. But Goku's still easily the stronger of the two. The fight continues, and Raditz is, as Goku's getting further and further beaten down, Raditz is actually becoming more and more irate with Goku. Just, is that all you have, Kakarot? Just kicks him again. Goku goes flying and say, I thought you were going to prove something to me, Kakarot. What happened to we can beat Frieza, regain our honor, regain our people? What happened to all your accolades? Is this really all you can muster? And because Raditz, honestly, when Goku brought this up to him, there was a sliver of that spark of hope again. But right now, it's just because Kakarot can't back it up. Goku just isn't as strong as he is. but his tenacity is honestly greater than Radz's. That's for starting. He's just like, I'm not giving up that easy. It's like, that your tenacity can only go so far. Kakarot just rushes again, just knees him. Gohan's just listening. Daddy, it's okay, Gohan. It's okay. You are, if you're at this rate, Kakarot, the only way you're going to be able to win is to kill me. Because if you don't win, I will just do what I came out here to do and conquer this planet. Everyone, your friends, the people in this planet, your family, will be under my boot heel, under Frieza's rulership. So tell me, Kakarot, are you going to let that happen? Or are you going to show me what you can really do? And Goku's suddenly just he can feel Goku's power kind of spike, because we don't talk about the rage boost very often when it comes to Saiyan characters outside of like Broly and Gohan. But Vegeta and Goku are both capable of rage boost. We've seen Vegeta do that against Beerus. And we've seen Goku, I mean, that's what happened with the Super Saiyan transformation, technically. We've seen it happen a couple times, like when Vegeta came after Cell after he killed Trunks. It was only brief, but he got a rage boost briefly. That's why Cell actually had to be on guard, because Vegeta's power at that brief moment was enough to be like, okay, hold on. But then it's excited. So I think Goku is like, you will not! And all of a sudden he just rushes, Raditz, just, Pah! And, he kind of like, linebacker tackles them, just, and, his power, Radz's scatter reads like, it's over 900. This is without a Kamehameha, by the way. So, and he just wails on him a little bit, goes right into a cliff. It's like, I won't let you. It's like, Raditz, no matter what, family or not, I will not let you hurt my family or friends. And then Raditz finally powers up. That's it, Kakarot. Show me what you can really do. They clash again, and Goku again just starts losing ground. The rage boost is only temporary. So he's like, is this all you have? What a disappointment you are. Mother and father must be crying in their graves. And he tosses Goku up in the air. He's just like, ugh. And Goku's just like, ugh. And the mention of like Bardock and Gina, just his eyes snap open. It's time to end. And all of a sudden, Raditz is scared. He's like, what? His power's going up even higher. 900, 1,000. What's going on here? Now, when Goku launched the Kamehameha, his power level ran around like 924, something like that. That is a little over 2 times what Goku's base was. When you do the mathematics, his base is around 412, if I'm not mistaken. So times 2, then it's 824. Extra 100 on there. You're looking at roughly speaking 2.25, so 2.25. So sorry. Here's the popping a little bit. So if we do again the mathematics on that real quick, Goku's power actually is able to creep just close to 1,500. Oh god, 1 second. That's a little bit better. He's able to creep just around to 1,500. Not quite. It's about 450-ish, but still, yeah, because of that, Aina's Kamehameha. And Raditz tries to get away. Goku turns the Kamehameha, and Raditz is like, and he's trying to fire his own energy blast just to counter it, but it's like, no, and then basically they're finally beam struggling and just boom, and finally Radz and Goku both kind of like are on the ground. Goku though is able to land on the ground, just. Now, Radz just took near his equivalent of power to the face. Keep in mind, it doesn't necessarily require you don't necessarily need a power level equal to that of your opponent to kill them with an energy attack. Look what Piccolo did with the special beam cannon. His power level is documented around 1,444, I believe. That's not 1,500, but it's a concentrated attack, all that. But Raditz, however, just took all that, even though he's able to block a portion of it. He's like, and Goku's like, he's standing. It's kind of like with Jiren, just like, and Raditz just sees it in his eyes, like, that determines, like, I don't want to kill you, Raditz. We're family. You're my brother. But I'll do what I have to. No matter what. Goku just... And Raditz just sees in his eyes. He sees his dad in Goku again, in his eyes. And his eyes go wide and he coughs up some blood. He actually has a smile as he's like, I'll be damned. You really are. You really did. Dad's... if you hadn't had anything from Dad, Father, you would have inherited his spirit. You win, little brother. And he just... Raditz and Raditz isn't... If he's not treated like in a couple hours, something like that, he is going to be knocking on death's door, but he's... your blast wasn't strong enough to kill me, Kakarot. Not immediately. But if I don't get medical attention soon, it will be the end. And if so, I could think of worse ways to die than at the hand of my brother. Killing Frieza will not be easy. It may even be impossible. And he's got, Goku's holding his hand. But if you're serious, you will have me by your side. But there's still the issue of Nappa and Vegeta. If we can't bring them to our side, we'll have to face them in combat. It's Vegeta's pride. He's too arrogant, Nappa. He's too stubborn. There's no guarantee they'll join us, Kakarot. We'll be able to convince. Don't worry, we're gonna get you. Unless you have some sort of healing pod. There's not much we'll be able to do. And there's like, hold on. It's like, hold on. It's like, Goku, hold on. I got Sensui. He's like, thanks, Krillin. And he's like, here, eat this. Like, what are you? Let's not going to. Hey, so he just, he coughs up the rest of this. Like, what was that? Sensui bean. They're pretty nifty, huh? He's like, that's quite a miracle thing you have. What a thing you have there. Now, because of this, they both are going to get a Zenkai. Raditz probably I'm going to just cap out at even 2,000. Goku, because obviously a third, it's usually around 25% to a third in the low levels of power. And then once you get into the higher levels of power, like around the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, that's when the drastic Zenkai seem to take place a little bit. Plus your SLs, all that. Goku, though, Goku's the tricky one to figure out, because Goku also took a hell of a beating in this fight. My first instinct was to go about 800. That's about 25% of his power. A little under, but about 25% of power. Then I'm like, could I get away with maybe just doing, going to 900? And I'm like, yeah, 900 is a reasonable number. I think 900, because he took a wailing from Raditz, to be fair. He was in a bit better shape, though, than Raditz, because Raditz didn't have to take a point-blank blast, or he didn't have to take a point-blank blast to the face. And so everyone's just there, and everyone's happy, and like, yeah. And Goku's just like, no problem. We'll have to prepare for them, because I'm sure they'll be listening. Haven't you, Vegeta, Nappa? It's like, yes, we've been listening, Raditz. To think you were able to lose so effectively against your little brother, a weak low class, a power of not even above 1,000. It's pitiful to say the least. Even weaker than we gave you credit for. But you have an interesting proposition. We've also been listening to your little conversation. Your proposition is interesting, but we'll see if you can really back up your talk. We'll be there probably in about. We'll be there momentarily, and probably within a year's time, I'd guess. Well, they probably Kami can guess when they're coming, and so. Is it we need to prepare? You're more Saiyans, unbelievable. I'm sorry, who are you to be talking to Namekian? Namekian, Because Piccolo honestly didn't know that. At least I don't think Piccolo knew that. We knew like King Piccolo and Kami knew that. I don't know if Piccolo knew that. Either way. So yeah, we're gonna have to be training pretty hard for these Saiyans coming up. Not only that, they have warriors at least as strong as me, that they can at their disposal. What do you mean? And he explains Cybermen. Like, Cybermen are apparently artificially grown warriors. And he says, they look like I have a cabbage. It's weird. that basically have a power level around 1200, just like his suppressed form. He's basically said I was a little stronger than Cyberman. I could beat a Cyberman, but even for me, it was not an easy task. So, they're all like, we got to get trained on, and they immediately all go up to Kami. I mean, Piccolo stays on his own. Gohan, like I said, Gohan probably is probably going to stay put for right now. However, with Raditz there's an argument made he might be able to persuade Chi-Chi a little bit, though I doubt it. In fact, Goku actually goes and introduces Raditz to Chi-Chi. It's like, you're Goku's brother? That's right, I am his brother. I'm Raditz. And that makes it's like, so that makes him Uncle Raditz. Gohan's shy. Like, oh, you're shy type. Well, don't worry, we'll trade that out of you and be sure. And she's like, look, Goku may be an alien, but I'm not letting my son get wrapped up in any of your weird end of the world shenanigans. Look, I understand your position on this, but he's also half Saiyan. Now, remember, Chi-Chi is aware that Goku is a Saiyan because Goku brings it up. Like, I'm not human. I'm actually an alien. Despite the fact I am actually, alien, which means our son's going to be half alien. So, and Chi-Chi does look him in the eyes like, I'm well aware that Goku's not fully human, but he is at least half human thanks to me. And I'm not going to train to be some fighter just for the earth and who can't make ends meet doing anything but farming. I want something better for him than what we had. And, Raditz thinks on it, like, it's a fair point. Goku's just kind of like, oh, he's just like, whatever. I'm like, I'm happy farming and all that, but is Chi-Chi not happy? Oh. And Chi-Chi actually sees this, and it actually feels a little bit bad. It's like, no, Goku, it's not that I don't like love you and for who you are, and I do love that. And the fact that we farm and you have a job, I like that, but I want something more than what we have for our son. And Raditz is like, well, why can't he? And Raditz brings up the point, why can't he do both? You say you wanted to have a better life than what you had, and you want to embrace both his human side as well as his Saiyan side. But how can you embrace the Saiyan? How can you be fair if you don't embrace both? He can trade and study at the same time. If anything, the studying will give him a sharper intellect on the battlefield. And Chi-Chi, is about to argue, but she does think on that for a bit. And it's like when she looks at Gohan, like, when his studies during the day are over, he is allowed to train with you. But only when his studies are done. That is my bargain. It's like awesome. And the question now becomes, how does training go about? Because honestly, I think the humans are going to train the same, but it's Kami basically like, okay, are you going to go see King Kai? Well, you're not dead, so that's going to be difficult. Or is there the secondary option? Is the hyperbolic time chamber an option here? Kami doesn't want to suggest that because Goku's only got one more trip through there right now. Raditz may have two, but that's not going to be very advantageous if, he can only get one good training trip out with both of them. So he weighs the odds a little bit about what they can do. And ultimately, I think he basically has a talk with both King Kai because we know he can communicate with King Kai and King Yama about getting passage to training with Kami, or King Kai in this case. King Kai thinks over and knows the threat of both the Saiyans and Frieza. Is like, very well, but they must pass my test first. Bring them to my planet. And so they arrange it. They show up on the planet. Raditz is fine. Like, what? But Goku's like, It's like, Goku, Kakarot, what's going on? Why are you feeling it's so heavy? Oh, that's because that's right. You were raised on Earth, Goku. Whereas Raditz is used to his homeworld's planet. You see, the gravity of my planet is 10 times that of Earth, equal to that of planet Vegeta's. Oh, that's why I didn't feel anything. That's why I felt a little off. It's been a while since I've been on a planet of similar gravity. So what is this test? What's this test, weird King Kai? But we'll pass anything you have. And Goku's like, that's right. No matter what, we'll pass whatever test you bring. It's like, you must make me laugh by telling me a joke. Just the Oro, tension there. And eventually they're able to make him laugh. And so their training begins. Now, Raditz's training, it's kind of like what happened when Piccolo and the gang went up there. When Piccolo caught Bubbles without a problem, King Kai actually says, you know very well this test was not for you. So Raditz actually kind of trains on his own for a while Goku has to acclimate to the gravity. Meanwhile, the gang all trains, and they explained to Chi-Chi what they were going to do. So actually, Gohan's getting a pass right now. Although I think what would happen is they might ask Roshi for a favor and just stop by and just look after Gohan for a little bit and train him up when the time is available. And I actually think this is very good for Gohan in terms of growth. Right now we know Gohan's base power is actually around 724. Something like that. It's like 724, 726, something in that neighborhood. And he didn't get a very big power increase. What he got was actually experience and survival and actual legitimate training from Piccolo. He didn't get a big boost power-wise. Here, though, Roshi actually subjects him a little bit to what he put Goku and Krillin through, but on a much lesser scale, as he's still just a 4-year-old boy. So he does it on a lesser scale. Like the milk carrying thing, he even joins him on the trip to give him some company. And surprisingly, Gohan, I think, would actually have some fun with this. It's even like Chi-Chi's like, he even gives him a little bit of allowance for like actually doing a chore like that. And I actually think it's a very nice way to be training him. Now, Roshi does comment, my training might get more intense. I'm sure Goku explained some of what I put him through. And say, I did explain everything. He did gloss over a few things. Say, well, don't worry about that. We're a little ways off. The boy's a little young to be going through all that. Yeah, I think he even like tests his speed. Maybe even gives him a turtle shell. Like going with a little turtle shell doing the milk run, I think is actually kind of an adorable image. By the way, the Goku mentioned the tail and the Saiyan heritage things. Yes, well, but we don't want to remove it because I know it's going to be painful. We've told Gohan, though, never to actually stare at the full moon. It's dangerous. And say, smart move on their part. So, let's fast forward the year and end off where everyone is and what they've learned. I honestly think all the humans are about the same, maybe a little stronger, but not by much. Like, if we were to just round up everyone, I think that's where we can just generally put them. So, for example, Tien, round that up, you're looking at about 1900 instead of the, I think, 1,830-ish. Just round it up. Basically, round up to the nearest 100. Chatsu, 700. Krillin, see, Krillin's is odd because Krillin's reads at like 1,700 and something, but when you get the Namek, it's only about 1,500. And humans, as far as we know, don't get Zenkai, which means his power was probably suppressed. Or that was probably like a rage boost kind of scenario. But anyway, Krillin most likely is actually at about a 1,600. Yamcha's about a 1,500. Hell, even Yajirobe's at a 500. Alright, Yajirobe. Now, with Raditz and Goku, and let's actually talk about Gohan. Because Gohan's actually been doing legitimate training, I mean, granted, it's more like finesse, but there's been some power increases. I'd say he's actually probably around his canon level of about 1,000, roughly there. But Gohan isn't going to be part of this fight. Piccolo, because he's been able to focus solely on himself, and because he is stronger in this version by a decent little margin, around 500 I put him at. Was it 500 or 550? I'm going to say 500, just for solid numbers. I'm actually going to put him around 6,000. I think because he got 8 times the multiplier training himself and Gohan, because he's allowed to focus solely on himself, a full 12 is nowhere near out of the realm of possibility at all, if not higher. And honestly, thinking on it, I could probably put him at 7,000, actually. I'm actually going to go to 7,000. So he's actually pretty strong. Like, without Raditz and Goku on the planet, he's the strongest one on the planet and can even go toe-to-toe and probably kill Nappa on his own. But then you get into the Raditz and Goku scenario. Now, Raditz had to train on his own for a while until Goku got adjusted to the gravity. Now, because they were able to train together and spar with each other, they are able to get a big boost. Because of that, because they have a training partner with each other. So now what they learn, Goku, because he's more pure of heart, learns the Spirit Bomb. I don't think Raditz is capable of doing it. They both are able to do the Kaio-ken, though. Where they are power-wise, that's the ultimate question, isn't it? So Goku, roughly speaking, got about a near 20 times multiplier. Roughly. Not quite there, and if you factor maybe his dead body still counted for getting a Zenkai, it's actually less. But roughly speaking, a 20 times multiplier. You add still he has to go through all the things he went through here, but the fact they get more time there, and he's training with a partner, I think a times 30 is nowhere near out of the realm of possibility. So, just basic math. 30 times 900, Well, that's roughly speaking 27,000, which is kind of nuts, really. Which now that I say that out loud, because I forgot I had him at 900. Even if I just gave him the standard 20, his power's double. It's at 18,000. It's Vegeta's maxed power. But you know what? I'll still say the 27,000. I'll still say the 27,000. I think that's actually a pretty reasonable area to have him at. Raditz, I don't think Raditz is as strong because he had to train on his own for a while, waiting for Goku to get stronger or acclimate to the gravity. I don't think he is as strong because I just don't think Raditz has enough as much potential. Now we have no proof that he doesn't have as much potential, but something tells me he wouldn't be as strong because he'd have to wait longer. Now he'd be training on his own, so training on his own he probably could get to like maybe because we don't know how long it actually took Goku to do that, acclimate to the gravity. But because they had the full time there instead of Goku having to travel to Snake Way, through Snake Way, it does lend the idea that he's probably, my guess, plus they also have to learn the Kaio-ken, he's probably somewhere more around just 20, 25,000. Like, Goku edges him out. He edges him out. And Raditz still has his tail, so he does have that benefit. So 20 to 25. Goku also is probably able to use the Kaio-ken to a certain higher degree. At 27,000 versus 25,000, they're easily both able to handle a ×3 Kaio-ken without really any issue. I would imagine their limit, Raditz's, even though is probably... This is weird to say, but Raditz can probably go higher because he is the older brother, so his body's probably a bit tougher. But, and it does contradict what I just said. But I think Goku can maintain the higher levels a bit more effectively. Raditz can just push himself more farther. So Goku's got the stamina advantage, whereas Raditz has the slight durability advantage. Raditz, I think, both of these can easily go to ×3. I think Raditz, if he had to, could push it to maybe a ×7, whereas Goku, it can really only push it to a ×6 before it's basically the Vegeta scenario where his body's just breaking down. And even that, but again, he can hold these powers for a bit more effectively than Raditz can hold it. Like, Raditz can push it to 6 and even push it to 7, but that's going to wreak havoc on his body. Plus, he has the Saiyan transformation. So, I mean, when you really break it down, these two can push their power. Goku can push his power, honestly, to about let's see here, ×5. Think words here, Brett. ×6, 12, and then do that number there. Okay, yeah, he can push it to almost almost Vegeta's power level in the Great Ape at 172. Whereas Raditz, who's only at 25, can actually push it to the 175 if he has to, which is a little stronger than Goku's, but it wreaks more havoc on his body, so it's not something he wants to do if he has to. There's safe areas around the ×3, both of them respectively. And so they basically, what they do is they just use the Dragon Balls to wish them back immediately before, things go awry. And so they're there, they're waiting. They spend a few days with Chi-Chi, and Raditz actually gets to know his extended family, and he actually smiles. Like, it reminds him a little bit of Bardock and Gine a little bit. And now they're prepared to duke it out with the Saiyans. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll all go peacefully. I rather doubt it. So, but that is a question that'll be answered next time on the Dragon Ball Z What If. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Have a good one, folks.